Hey, what's up everyone and welcome to Daily Code Buffer. In this video, we are going to see how to create the REST API using the Go Fiber framework. So Fiber is the Go framework that is built on the fast HTTP, which is the fastest HTTP engine for the Golang. Now this particular Go Fiber is designed for the ease of use. If you are already aware with the Node.js and the Express.js framework for it, then this Fiber is very similar to it. So let's see how we can create the REST APIs using the Golang. And we'll be also using the GoRM framework as the ORM for the Go language, and we'll be using the MySQL database to store the data. So let's get started. So here what we'll be doing is we'll be creating a simple project over here, and with this particular project we'll be implementing the Fiber framework, and we'll be also implementing GoRM with the MySQL. So here we'll be creating one user object over here which has first name, last name and email ID, and we'll try to save the user, get the user, delete the user and update the user. So we'll be doing the entire CRUD operation with the help of Fiber framework. So let me create the project over here. I have already opened the Visual Studio Code over here. Let me open the terminal over here. And here I will be creating the module over here. So I will just say go mod init github.com/shabirdw53, that is my username, and Go Fiber tutorial, this is my project over here. Okay, so here you can see that the Go module is being created over here. Now we need to add the dependencies over here, right? So we are using the Go Fiber, so we'll be adding the Go Fiber. We'll be using the GoRM, so we'll add the GoRM, and we will also add the MySQL driver over here. I will add all these commands in the description below, and I will also share the code with you so you can check this out. So let me add the Fiber. If you go to the browser over here, okay, and if you click on the get started over here, so here you can see that this is the command that you can use to get this particular Fiber dependency. So we will add this over here, go get -u github.com/gofiber/fiber/v2. So here you can see that this particular dependency has been added over here. Now we will add GoRM over here, go get -u gorm.io/gorm. This is also added. Now let's add the MySQL driver over here for the GoRM. Okay, everything is added over here. Now let's create the file over here. Let me just close this over here for now. I can create the file main.go, and this will be package main, and I'll create the main method over here. Okay, simple. Now we have to use the Go Fiber framework over here to start our HTTP. So what I have to do, I have to import the Fiber dependency over here. So I'll just do import Fiber, and I'll use app equals to fiber.new. Okay, now what I will do, we have to define the APIs routes over here. So I'll just define app.get mapping. I'll define over here, and here I'll define the base URL, and it will call one of the methods over here, that is hello, and this app should listen to port 3000. Okay, this is a simple thing I have defined over here. Now we need to add this particular hello method as well. So let's define this hello method. I'll just define function hello. So this particular hello function will take the context of a Fiber framework over here. So we need to add this. I'll say context C, and it will take the pointer of a Fiber dot context over here. And now we can use this particular context to send the data, get the data and everything over here. So for simply, I'll just do context dot send string over here, and I'll just say welcome to Daily Code Buffer, and this particular we need to return. So I'll just say return, and it will also have a error as the return parameter if there is any error over here. So this is a very simple Fiber application that we have created over here. We just created the application over here using the fiber.new, and we added the one get API that will call this hello function over here, and this particular hello function is just returning welcome to Daily Code Buffer, and this particular application is running on port 3000. So let's run this application and see how it's working, and then we will go ahead and implement the other things. So I'll just clear this out and say go run main.go, and here you can see that the application started. If I go to localhost 3000 over here. Yeah, you can see that I'm getting welcome to daily code buffer. So my application is running. Now let's go ahead and implement all other things. So we'll be working with the user object over here. So let me just create the user package and we'll create one user file over here. So let me just create the user package over here, and inside this user package I'll create user.go file over here. Okay, and I'll say package user. So as I said, we'll be working with the user. So let's create one user struct over here. So I'll just say type user struct over here, and this particular struct will be of the GoRM type. So I'll just say GoRM dot model. Okay, and you need to import the GoRM library also, and here we need to add the different attributes over here. So I'll just add first name, last name, and email ID. So I'll just say first name as string, last name as string, and email as string. We are using capital over here, so we can export this thing and we can use in the other packages. Now all this particular data will be getting from the JSON, so we need to add the JSON information also over here. So I'll just use backtick over here and say JSON, and the JSON attribute should be first name. So whenever we are passing the data, we'll be passing as the first name, so it will be assigned to this particular first name over here. So let me just copy this and use for everything over here. Last name and email. So this particular struct is created. Now we need to add the database configuration over here. So we also have to add the configuration, like whenever we start our application, all the objects should be created as the table in our MySQL. So let me just create the database configuration over here. I'll just create couple of objects, variable db star gorm dot db, variable error as error. Now let me just create the constant DNS equals to, I'll just give the DNS value of my database, root:admin@tcp, my localhost 3306/godb over here. Okay, so this is my database. Let me just open my database, MySQL. Okay, so currently we don't have any GoDB database that we have defined over here, so let's create it. I just create the schema GoDB, apply. Here you can see that the database is created, and currently you can see there is no tables available over here. So now we have defined the DNS of our database also. Now we need to add the method over here, and we will call that particular method from our main method. So I'm just calling this method function initial migration, and here I'm telling db error equals to gorm.open. Here I'll say mysql.open, and here I need to pass my DNS over here. I need to pass the gorm configuration. So we are just using the gorm.open function over here, and we are passing mysql.open, and we are passing the DNS that we have defined over here, and we are passing the gorm configuration over here, and we are storing all those information in our db variable. So here we'll check if error not equals to nil, we'll do fmt dot println error dot error, and we'll create the panic. Okay, cannot connect to database. Now that is done. If there is no error over here, we'll just do db dot auto migrate, and we'll pass user over here. So this particular function is created. Now we need to call this particular function from our main method. So let's go to our main.go file over here, and in this main function we will call, and here we'll see user dot initial migration. Okay, so we need to import github.com shabir dwd53 gofiber tutorial /user. So this particular method we have called over here. Now database configuration with GoRM is done. Now we need to configure our Fiber framework to create the different APIs, and we can interact with our database. So now let's create those particular APIs over here. So what we'll do in our main.go file over here, let's create one method. I'll just say function and I'll say routers. Okay, so we will be defining the different routers over here, and this particular router function will take entire application as the input parameter. So we'll define app star fiber dot app over here. Okay, so we can use this particular app just the way we have used over here. So we'll define over here app.get with slash user over here as a URL, and we need to call user.get users. I'll define this as a users over here. So this is the one particular endpoint that we have defined, like whenever you call slash users over here, get users method or get users function from the user package or user.go file we should be calling. So let's go to the user.go, and here we can define one function get user. I'll just copy from here so it will be easier. And the same, this will be having the fiber context fiber.ctx, and this will be returning the error if there is any. So this is the particular function that we created. If you go to the main.go, now let's define the other methods as well. So I'll define app.get slash users slash colon ID. So whenever you pass any ID over here, we will get the user for that particular ID. So I'll just define, instead of get users, as a get user only. I'll define one method to add. So I'll just create the post method over here, and I'll pass the user as the URL and save user as the method over here. Same for delete user method, and same for the update. For update we'll use put, and we'll use update user over here. For the delete, we will be passing the ID which particular user that we want to delete, and for the update also we will also pass ID which particular user we want to update, and we will also pass the body the same way we'll be passing our save user over here. I just forgot to add comma everywhere. Let me just add the comma. Okay, now we need to create all these particular methods in user.go file over here, and we have to complete the implementation. So let's go to the user.go, and before that we need to call this particular routers also from our main method. So we'll just call routers and we'll pass app over here. Now let's go to the user.go file and let's create the different functions over here. So let me just copy this. Okay, get users, then get user, then the other is save user, then delete user, and then update user. Now there are still errors over here, but once we implement this everything, it will be easier. So let's go ahead and implement all the methods and then we will check it. Okay, so first of all, let's go with the save one. Okay, so whatever data you will pass from your body, so whatever request you will do, you will pass the data as a JSON object, and those particular JSON object we need to convert that to a particular user struct over here that we have defined over here, and that we can save to our database. So let's do that. So here we will create the user object over here equals to with a new method new user. Okay, and we will use here body parser function of the fiber.context to convert our JSON data to our struct over here. So we'll define if error equals to c context dot body parser, and this body parser will take this particular user object. Okay, whatever data is there in the body, parse this to particular user struct over here, comma, and if error not equals to nil, we'll just return c.sendString. Let me just do first status over here, c.status as 500 and dot send string. I'll pass the error, whatever the error is. error over here. So it's just simple over here. Okay, I'm using the body parser function over here to parse the JSON data, whatever I am getting in the body, to convert to the user struct over here. And if there is any error, I'll just send the status 500 with the error message. If not, what I'll do, I'll just use db dot save function and I'll save this particular user. And after that, I'll just return c.json this particular user back, and I'll just use return statement. So just created the new variable user from our struct over here, and then we use the body parser function to convert our JSON data to our struct. And if there is any error, just send that error message, else save the data to the user and then return that particular JSON back. So this is just a simple save function over here. Now let's implement the get users. So whatever users that we save, get the list of that particular users from the database. So we'll create the array of user. We'll say users. Okay, this will be better. And then we'll use db.find function and I'll pass user over here, users. So it will get the list of the users and convert to the users array over here, and that we will pass back c.json percentage users over here, and I'll just use return statement. So simple over here, right? So I'll just get the list of users available and I'll just pass the JSON back. Now let's go with this particular method where we'll define a particular user. So we need to find a particular user based on the ID provided over here in the path variable. So let's see that. So I'll just save the data in the ID first. ID equals to, and we'll get the ID from the c.params. And I'll give the ID over here. The same name which you have defined over here. Same you have to give over here. So I just defined over here, and now I'll create the variable user. Okay, and I'll call db.find percentage user, and with this ID I want to find. Okay, and then I want to return c.json percentage user. So it's just a simple method over here, same as get users that we have implemented. Here we will be having one extra path variable that we have taken from the Fiber context, and then we are passing into db.find function over here, so we can get that particular user, and we are passing that particular JSON data back. So 3 methods are implemented. Now let's implement the delete function. So for the delete function also, we are passing the ID, so we have to get that particular ID. So I'll just say ID colon c.params, c.params, and then I need to add ID. I'll create the object user, and then we need to find db.first object. Okay, I'll pass %user with the ID over here. So we'll get the object over here. Now with this particular user object over here, my email ID is very important. So for every user that I save, it has to have an email ID. So I'll check over here if any of the user I'm getting over here, if that doesn't have an email ID over here, that means whatever we get the data from the database, that's wrong. Okay, that means we are not getting any data, it's a blank data. So we will just say that user is not available. So I'll just say if user.email equal to blank over here, then I'll say return c.status 500.sendString user not available. If so, if the user is there, what we'll do, db.delete that particular user, and we'll say return c.sendString user is deleted. Simple over here. So we are getting the ID, we are getting the user from the database using the db.first function over here. And if we are checking if user.email equal to null, that means we are not able to get the user from the database back. There is no data available. So we are sending the message that is user not available with the 500 status code, else we are using db.delete function to delete that particular user, and we are sending the message back that user is deleted. So simple implementation. Now let's update the user. So for the update user also, it's very simple, similar to the delete user, half of the things. So I'll use the same id c dot params over here. I'll say id. So I got the params. We'll create the user object over here, and I'll use db dot first to find that particular user, and I'll check the same condition. If user.email equal to blank, that means user is not available. So I'll just say return c dot status 500 dot send string user not available. Okay, now that's done. Now we need to take the data from the body as well. Okay, so let's do that. We'll say if error equals to c dot body parser, and I'll pass the user over here. And if error not equals to null, that means there is some error. So for this also we'll do return c dot status with 500 and send string as error dot error. So two error messages that we are sending. If we are not getting any data from the database, that means user is not available. And if we are getting any error parsing the body data, that means that is also the error. If everything is passed from here, that means now we need to update. I'll simply say db dot save, and I'll pass the user over here. And after that, I'll just return c.json and %user. Okay, so after this, whatever the data I am getting, I am saving the data to the database over here, and I'm passing the data back. So all the particular 5 functions have been created. Get users to get all the users, get a particular user using the get user function, to save the user, to delete the user, and to update the user over here. Now let's go to the main.go file over here. This particular routers function, we have called the routers from the main application as well, and we are running on port 3000 over here. So if we go to the database over here, you can see that we don't have any tables created over here still. So let's run this application. Okay, let me clear this and let's run it again. Here you can see that the application is started. Now if you go to the database and if you refresh, here you can see that the table is created, and currently there is no data over here. So now let's go to the application back and let's open the REST client, and we will call all these particular functions. You can use any REST client over here. You can use Postman, Insomnia. I'll be using Thunder client in the VS Code itself. I've created a dedicated video for this. You can check this out. So let me just open the new request over here. I'll do http://localhost:3000/user. So if I go to the main, first one is user, and it's a post request. Okay, so I'll create the post request over here, and I'll go to the body, go to the JSON, and I need to add the data over here. So let's add the data. I'll go to the user.go, go to the struct over here that we have created, and let's add this data. First name, last name, and email over here. Okay, sorry, I need to add colon over here. Okay, so I'll just say first name is Shabir, last name is Dawoodi, and email shabir@gmail.com. Now I'll hit on send to save the data. So here you can see that I got 200 OK over here, and data is saved, and I got the data back as well. So let's go to the MySQL over here and let's hit the date. Here you can see that we got the 200 status OK over here, but we are not able to save the data over here because we did the mistake over here. So let me just close this server over here. So here you can see that the update query was executed. So I did the mistake. If I go to the user over here and in the get user, sorry, not in the get user, in the save user, I need to do the create over here. Okay. Now let's run this again. Now let's go back to the new request over here and let's hit on send again. And here you can see that the data is created. I got the ID as well. And if I go again and check, you can see that the data is saved over here. Okay, cool. So first API is working. Let's go ahead and change to get over here. Before that, let's add a couple of more data. I'll just add Kutub over here, Daudi and kutub@gmail.com, and let's click on send, and this data is also saved over here. And here you can see that I should be getting 2 records over here. Okay, cool. Now let's change to get method, and for this particular URL that we have defined, same this one, we should be getting all the users. So let's just click on send over here, and this is users. Okay, so click on send over here, and here you can see that I'm getting the 2 records over here, that is first one and the second one over here. Now let's get the particular records. So I'll just use the get with the users and slash I need to add any of the IDs. So I'll just use the ID as 1 and hit on send, and here you can see that I'm getting the particular user over here. If I give 2, then I should be getting Kutub over here. Okay, cool. So 3 functions we have checked and it's working fine. Now let's check the update function over here. Okay, so for the update function, I'll pass 2 over here and I'll change to put request, and instead of first name Kutub, I'll say Kutub Khan, and email also I'll change over here, and I'll click on send over here. And here you can see that we got the record with the updated values. Okay, if you go to the database, currently you can see that it's Kutub and kutub@gmail.com, and if I refresh it, here you can see that data is updated over here. Okay, so it's working fine. Now let's check the delete function. If I select the delete function over here, and for the second record, if I want to delete, currently you can see that deleted as null over here. Okay, so this particular record is not deleted. So this particular GoRM will do the soft delete, not the hard delete. Okay, so if I click on send over here, you can see that we are getting user is deleted over here. And if I refresh it over here, so here you can see that this particular record is deleted. We are getting deleted as the date over here. So all these particular functions are working. And if I pass anything else, you can see that we are getting user not available. So all our exception handling is also working over here. So that's it in this particular GoFiber tutorial over here. I will add this particular code in the GitHub and I'll share the link with you. You can check this out. If you have any questions or queries related to any of the topic that we have covered, then please let me know in the comment section below. I will try to resolve it as soon as possible. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for the upcoming videos. I will see you in the next video. Till then, happy coding. Bye bye.